So Holcon, I'm back.
Follow me or meet me there. Your choice.
I'll walk with you. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Excellent. Let's get going. Let's get going.
I'm coming.
The Covenant's been bombarding the city for days. If Davon's watch falls, all of Stonefalls is in danger. I came to fight with my old comrade, Tanvol.
I just want to hear some story, pretty much. What has happened here? He noticed it. Also, who were you? I think that was a player. What happened here?
You should talk to my father, Grandmaster Tanvil. He leads House Indoril.
You help your father in battle, Karen?
It is my pleasure to uphold my family's honor. With my father leading the defense, victory is certain.
Okay.
Troll's blood. Do you need an invitation? Speak to Tanvol.
I think this I already asked.
This port's the key to Stonefalls. That's why these Covenant bastards are attacking. They're keen to take the city, but we aren't going to let them. The Nords are here to defend the Pact.
Yep. Hi, Tanvar.
Holden said you were reliable. I trust his instincts, and I know there is much work to do.
Holgan's told me about the siege. How can I help?
The Covenant closes on us like Nick's hounds on a kill. They think they've already won the city. They're entirely wrong. They are doomed to the last man.
What's the plan then?
You are the plan. There's a relic beneath the city, guarded by spirits of my ancestors. For me to fight them would be blasphemy, but you aren't of House Indoril. The entrance is through the tombs across the square. Bring the relic here.
What can you tell me about that relic?
Only that you need to bring it. I tried to reason with my ancestors, but they do not understand our peril. You must succeed where I cannot.
Okay. Can I look around your house for a moment? I want... Oh, there are books which I can't read. Unreadable books. Stealing is bad, okay? Yep. Of course it is bad. You are sleeping there? Wow. Wardrobe. Nightstand. Yay! On the Immortality of Dust by Veltanos Sentinel. A sacred flame rises above the fire, the ghosts of great men and women without names. Cities long dead rise and fall in the flame. The Dioscuri song of revelation, bursting walls and deathless rock. Fiery sand that heals and destroys. Above the sea Sentinel shines, her domes agleam in the iliac dawn. Her people throng the bazaars and find their way between man's walls of stone, but even in the tower to town, Sandal Street, tread tracks in Alicker sand. For all those born of red god blood bring the wastes with them wherever they go. The desert grips our hearts and souls, its flame within our eyes and ears. Dust cannot die and we are dust. Windblown, ephemeral, eternal, all. Cool. Anything else? No. Still a lot better than nothing. That was an interesting read. Okay, oh, there's another one. Pravil Part 1 Daughter of the Niben by Satire Longleaf or Longleat. Pravil is one of the most charming towns in Cyrodiil, sparkling in her simple beauty, illustrious by her past. No visit to the southern part of the imperial province is complete without a walk along Pravil's exciting river port, a talk with her friendly native children, and of course, in the tradition of the village, a whispered word to the famous statue of the lucky old lady. Many thousands of years before the arrival of the Admorans, the native Islate people had long lived in the vicinity of modern-day Pravil. The Niben then, as now, provided food and transportation, and the village was even more populous than it is today. We are not certain what they called their region, as insular as they were, the word they used would be translated to simply mean home. These savage islates were so firmly entrenched that the Pravil region was one of the very last areas to be liberated by the Alessian army in the 2nd century of the First Era. Though little remains of that era culturally or archaeologically, thank Mara, the tales of debauchery and depravity have entered into the realm of legends. How the Islates were able to survive such a long siege is debatable by scholars to this day. All, however, grant the honor of the victory to one of the Empress Alessia's centurions, a man called Theo Pravelius Tassus, the man for whom the modern town is named. It was said he invaded the village no less than 4 times, after heavy resistance, but each time upon the morning all his soldiers within would be dead, murdered. Oh, I have already read this one. I have already read that one, sorry about that.
Enter the tomb, retrieve the relic, and return to me.
Jeez.
I won't doubt my father's wisdom. Whatever he has you doing, it's for the safety of Stonefalls.
Okay.
What's taken you so long? Enter the tomb, retrieve the relic, and return it to Tanvol. Sounds easy enough to me.
Then why don't you do it? Who are you? You're also using a shield. Like me. House in Indoril Crypt. A burial crypt of the noble Indoril family, one of the great houses of the Dark Elves of Morrowind. It's said that in times... something... Can't take the tools to Oh right, I needed a... I'll be right back, I needed a bank. I'm kinda full. So, I'm here and seems that there is a quest here. Housing broker.
If you're here about the property, you'll need to return later. I'm dealing with some unforeseen complications.
What seems to be the problem?
Until recently, Bulag Idolus was my tenant. When I learned she used my property to run a skooma operation, she broke into my office and absconded with the deed. Without it, the guard does nothing. They don't believe I own the place. It's a total loss.
Anything I can do to help?
Yes, you can. I can't have the place tarnishing my good name. If you recover the deed and key, I'll sign it over to you. Bulag Idolus had a falling out with her old partner, Zugugrath, I think. Try finding him wherever scum accumulates in town.
I look for Zugugrath in the nearest outlaw's refuge. Okay. And there is also this here. Rulantaril's notes. I write this in the hope that my son, Telparil, someday understands why I did what I did. Learning proper magic is something they teach you here at the guild, but it is not the only way. There is so much knowledge that is traditionally forbidden by the decrees of those who fear true power. and those who wield it. Know that there are places beyond Tamriel where the cunning and the wary can go to learn forgotten spells. I speak of the plains of oblivion. The sea of limitless dimensions contains an endless series of islands. Some are controlled by the mighty Daedric princes, others are loosely connected to one minor Daedra lord or another. On these islands creatures dwell who possess secrets out of time. Some are there of their own volition, but others are banished there for crimes either heinous or imagined. If you are reading this, Delbaril, know that I found one such place long ago. Know that it is not far from the city in which you now sit within a tiny cave by the docks. It is called the Crow's Wood. And son, if you decide to follow me, bring all of your gunning with you. I'll keep that in mind. So the current problem is that I don't exactly have a lot of room in my bank because I didn't quite there are more quests over there. Let's try to get to them. Not from here though. Quests are outside there. Let's try to find them. I have to go over the bridge again. I think. Maybe I can go down here. No, the bridge is faster, but doesn't matter now. Jeez. I can just go around because there is something here anyway. Equipment crafting grids. You notice a prominent handbill on the requisition board. King Choron extends an invitation. Master crafters await you in Davon's Watch. They offer free training for those who knew the craft and free certification for accomplished crafters. Read the fine print. Unskilled crafters will be certified after a brief training. Skilled crafters will be certified immediately. The master shall charge no fee for certification. Certification is mandatory to fulfill crafting grids. Interested parties should seek Millennium at the Fighters Guild for blacksmith, clothier, and woodworker certification. Speak with Delano at the Mages Guild for provisioner, enchanter, and alchemist certification. Take the handbill. Nice. More quests over here. 3 more. Wow. There is so much to do here.
I'll need a new... 3 keep you, traveler. Welcome to the Davon's Watch Guild Hall.
Guild?
The Fighters Guild. Have you come to join our worthy crusade? We have a new guildmaster and a new singular purpose. Why don't we talk about it for a moment?
Sounds good. Let's talk about the Fighters Guild.
Good, good. I know we'll be drawing blades together soon enough. Now, what can I tell you?
You mentioned a singular purpose.
Right. Seize All Colors here is our new guildmaster. She has us all hunting down the Daedra and their dark anchors. You might have seen them. Enormous chains fall from the sky. Plagues of Daedra boil out to lay waste to the countryside.
What do I get in return?
Smart question. We train our members in special techniques, and the higher-ups are always looking for motivated members to help with special projects. You never know when the council will come looking for more hands.
And what happened to the old guildmaster?
Guildmaster Jofnir passed away recently, and very suddenly. We always thought he'd die with a blade in his hand, but he passed in his sleep, called to Sovngarde by his ancestors. We all miss him, but Colors has proven to be a very able leader.
And you are not part of the Pact military?
No. Our blades are in service to the Guild. We're neutral in the war between the 3 alliances. Some of us follow the Dragon Banner and King Yoren, of course. But every race, every creed, belongs under the Guild Hall's roof.
I'm ready to join the Fighters Guild.
Then welcome to the family, as an associate of the Fighters Guild. Get out there and take the fight to the Daedra. sees all colors herself, often has tasks for new recruits. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Let's check out this Fighter's Guild. Arm yourself with the Meridia's Sacred Sword and dispense her retribution, dealing 2900 physical damage to enemies in front of you, and an additional 4600 physical damage over 5 seconds. Nice. Allows you to intimidate NPCs in conversation. Reduces the stamina cost of your Fighter's Guild abilities by 15%. To intimidate. I don't want to intimidate, so I won't get that one. But maybe I can now get something else. I can go for this now. Deep Slash, Heroic Slash. So this hits up to 2 additional targets near the enemy. You gain minor heroism, increasing your ultimate generation. I don't even know what ultimate is. But this sounds nice, then I can take on multiple people at the same time. Bolster your defenses. Reflecting the next spell. Yeah. And can't take any of these. Unfortunate. Heavy armor. Nothing. Crafting, alchemy. Nothing. Provisioning. Nothing at all. Because provisioning is level 1. Because I have barely done anything here. The 4 Abominations. I have already read that. Polga's Guide to Island Beasts by Polga Grabur, huntswoman of Mistral. Beasts from all over Tamriel come here on trade ships. Those that find killing easy call this island home. From weak to strong, Polga tells you where to find them, how to best them, whether they are good for eating. Skivas, big rats from up north. Backroamers, meat is good for stew, very stringy. Live in burrows under sand. Camping on beach, bad idea. Water comes up and skivers with it. Better to camp on rocks, solid ground. Jump like tiny tigers, sometimes spin about. You think they are running? Do not be fooled. You wonder why Polga has only one hand? This is why. Stand firm. Ready a shield if you have one to keep both your hands. Alits, mouse on legs. Eat anything they wrap their teeth around. Go anywhere their legs carry them. Meat is tough, gamey, sometimes poison. Solitary, tend toward the easy prey like sheep. Enough in one place, they raid thunderbug nests. Alita attack with bites, but feet are more deadly. If one crouches, get your guard up. They are high jumpers. Thunderbugs, keep to themselves. Nest in soft dirt near trees and under ridges. Lay eggs and guard them from anything that gets near. Eggs are sweet and tingly going down. Get their name from the shock you get when they bite you. They can also shock from a distance. If one tries it, punch it in the head until it stops. Some bugs bigger than others. Spits a tiny shock balls and call thunder from the sky. Polga suggests avoiding these. You cannot fight the weather. Giant snake. Hard to find, occasionally eat small boats. Find one swimming. Make for land. If it catches you, it will drag you under. Polga has only fought one on land. When it was close to death, it coiled up. Its wounds started to close. When Polga saw this, she ran and did not look back. Suggest you do the same. So regenerative. Okay. Hi, Melanet.
You here for crafting certification? Don't worry, there's no cost involved. Your alliance covers all my fees. Once you're certified, they'll let you fulfill the crafting writs. Everyone wins.
Yes, I saw the notice. How do the crafting writs work?
They're daily requests for crafted goods, but they're only available to certified crafters. If you can show me you know your craft, I'll get you certified.
Alright, tell me how this works.
I can train and certify blacksmiths, clothiers, and woodworkers. If that sounds like something you'd want, we can get started.
Who else can certify me?
Have you spoken with Danelle Taleno? He handles certification and training for provisioning, enchanting, and alchemy. He's a bit stuffy, but he knows what he's doing.
Tell me more. Tell me more about the crafts you certify. It's interesting. Do I have to actually choose between this and the blacksmith stuff? I would love alchemy. Tell me more about the crafts you certify.
Of course. What do you want to know?
What do clothiers make?
Cloth and leather goods. The crafting writs want pieces of light cloth armor or medium leather armor, so that's what I certify.
What does woodworker make?
Bows, shields, and magical staves. Staffs? No, it's staves. I always forget how to say that.
What can a blacksmith make?
Anything with metal in it, and I don't mean horseshoes and calibers. The crafting writs are for weapons and heavy armor, so that's what I teach.
Alright, I'm ready for certification.
Excellent! We can get started whenever you're ready. Let me know if you have some time. I can train and certify you in something else.
Tell me more about blacksmith certification.
Prove you know your way around a forge and I'll certify you. But you have to commit. I can only train one discipline at a time. Let me know if you have... I want you to craft a simple iron dagger. First you'll mine some iron ore, then refine the ore into iron ingots. You'll use those ingots to make the dagger.
You'll certify me if I make an iron dagger?
Yes. You have to prove you know your way around a blacksmithing station. Those are the rules. For now, bring me an armload of iron ore. Once you're back, you'll refine them into iron ingots.
Tell me where to find iron ore.
There's a place outside of town which should still have some iron ore veins. Head there and mine it for yourself. Bring me 10 solid chunks of iron ore. If those veins are played out, you'll need to find iron ore on your own.
I'll return with the ore. I just need to visit the bank again. Seems. So... when I go over the bridge I have to go that way. If I go under the bridge I can go directly. Whoops. Hi.
I hate to even ask this, but can you help us?
What's wrong?
Our home was destroyed in the Covenant bombardment. My baby daughter... the house collapsed on top of her. We couldn't reach her. Now my poor Melila just cries and sleeps.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I wish I didn't have to beg, but I don't have any other way to care for my wife now. In her grief, Melila can't help herself. Please, could you spare some gold?
Sure, take this. I hope this turns around for you soon.
Your generosity shames me, stranger. May Vivek smile upon you.
My baby. She was so beautiful. Why did the three let this happen?
I don't know. I gave you some. I have plenty to buy another backpack expansion, but I don't know. I don't know where to buy it at.
Take it from me.
Materials. Iron ore. Jeez, I have a lot. Materials, I will put this away. That's the problem when you gather way too much. No, I have to go back there. Hi.
You're back. I take it you found enough ore?
This should be enough iron ore.
Refining ore into ingots is a good way to build your muscles. Well, in one arm. Best to switch every now and then. Otherwise, you'll be lopsided.
How do I refine this iron ore?
Bring the iron ore to a blacksmithing station. If you have enough, you can refine them into iron ingots. Really put your back into it. When you have iron ingots, return to me.
Is there anywhere else I can find iron ingots?
If you're in a guild, check the guild stores. They often have raw materials and refined goods for sale. Of course, you can always trade with a friend.
True. True. Where's that station? Refine. Refine. Nice, ruby and honing stone. So I can get extra stuff from this. Pretty cool. I think that's plenty.
Bring some iron ore to a blacksmithing station. You can refine it there to get iron ingots.
That wasn't so bad.
Refining ore into ingots is a good way to build your muscles. Well, in one arm. Best to switch every now and then. Otherwise, you'll be lopsided.
I have iron ingots. What needs to be done now?
Go to the blacksmithing station and craft an iron dagger. Nothing fancy. You shouldn't need more than 2 iron ingots. Oh, and you'll need a style material. You can purchase them from any blacksmith, or scavenge them yourself if you're thrifty.
What is a style material?
Every race has a traditional material they work into their weapons and armor. For example, the Imperial style material is nickel. I should know. Every day in the Legion camps, I worked a pile of it.
What style material do I need?
The Nord style material is corundum. Let's start with that.
How do I learn other racial styles?
You can learn how to craft with another race's style material by studying racial motif books. They're quite rare, mostly held by collectors, so watch for them in your travels.
I have one for something. Okay, creation. Select weapon or apparel, select the material and the style. You can only craft styles you know, and style materials are required to craft. Purchase them from any blacksmith. A sword. Dagger, greatsword. I finally want to use a sword. Oh, I actually had to make a dagger. I need just 2, I guess. I don't have Conundrum, but I do know Breton. Oh, they changed their look. That's interesting. Actually, to craft iron dagger, I hope I can just make this Breton style. Let's see. It counted. Good.
Craft an iron dagger. You'll need some iron ingots and a style material.
I have it right here.
The trick is the style material, but I'm sure you know that.
I figured it out. What more would you have me do?
Next is deconstruction. You learn a lot when you break something into parts, even more so when it's someone else's work. Go deconstruct your dagger, or anything else really, as long as you do it at a blacksmithing station.
How is this deconstruction useful to me?
You'll regain some components, of course, but the real trick is to deconstruct another crafter's work. You can learn far more by disassembling someone else's material than your own.
What is this construction?
It's a fancy way to say take something apart. The term originally came from Altmer poetry critiques. High elves consider their physical crafts to be forms of poetry, so it stuck. You can't know what a sword is, only what it's not, and so forth.
Okay. Deconstruct. Done.
You certainly know your way around a forge. You're a blacksmith, and let none tell you otherwise.
I'm ready to be certified as a blacksmith.
Of course. I'll get you certified right away, so you can fulfill blacksmith crafting writs immediately.
Thank you.
Let me know if you have some time. I can train and certify you in something else.
Oh, so I can take all of them. That's nice. I guess this is the episode. I'm interested in woodworking
A
certification.
good woodworker sees the final product before cutting the first block of wood. But I can't teach two crafts at once. If you commit yourself to the training, I'll certify you.
What does that...
I want to know if you can craft a maple bow. First, go harvest some rough maple. You'll refine it into sanded maple at a woodworking station. Last, you'll take the sanded maple and turn it into a maple bow.
You'll certify me if I can craft a maple bow?
Absolutely! Bows are challenging to craft. Show me you're up to the challenge and I'll happily certify you. But first, go get me a bundle of rough maple.
Where can I find rough maple?
There's a place nearby which should have what you need. Collect an armload and return here. If there's not enough, you'll need to search for more.
I'll return with the maple. So I can take blacksmith, right? Examine the blacksmith writs. Yep. So I can take... It would make sense that I can take all of them. But still, I wanted to be 100% sure. Also, I have the maple in my bank. So I have to go there and get it. Let's learn all of the crafting stuff.
Take it from me.
Where is it under? Rough maple, here it is. I will deposit... I don't know, mountain flowers and amaryllis roots, just in case. Is the person here?
You're clever, eh? Guards!
He got found out.
Is it true they're soldiers to the lager?
Where is she now? She's over there. That's why she can only teach you one at a time, because it's phasing. It's the phasing thing. So blue means daily quests. Good to know.
Look for rough maple in forested areas. Sometimes you'll see logs washed up on beaches.
I have the maple right here.
You should avoid cutting a rough maple log with a wasp nest inside. It's rather unpleasant. So are the lotions you'll need for the stings.
What? Oh god. What's my next step?
Bring the rough maple to a woodworking station. As long as you have enough, you can refine it into sanded maple. Return to me when you've done that, and we'll talk about crafting a maple bow.
Good. Rough maple. Refine. Pitch. Okay. Turquoise. I think that's enough.
Bring some rough maple to a woodworking station and refine it into sanded maple. It's easy work.
You were right, it was easy.
I prefer to work with maple. It's reliable, plentiful, rarely full of wasps.
I have the sanded maple, what do we do next?
Craft a maple bow at a woodworking station. You'll need sanded maple, also a style material. Scavenge them yourself or buy a style material from a carpenter.
I hope I have enough of them. No, I have none. I need Breton or Nord. Let's see what looks cooler. No, not the construct. Breton's bows look a lot cooler. So there is this here. I wonder if there is one at the blacksmith. No. There is, but I have already read it. Woodworking for Simpletons by Ori Turazel, the Wood Butcher of Scavin. Stop your tilling and your dallying, younglings. You are less than a pile of goblin droppings unless you have a trade. And I ain't letting my kin stink up the cabin. Today you learn how to work with wood. Now stop your belly groaning and listen. Woodworking is an honest trade, and you're going to do right by old Ori. I'll use tiny words so even Debons can follow. First off, take this axe to the woods. Look for mossy logs near old stumps and rocks, and then chop me 10 pieces of rough maple. What? Why is it called? Because it's rough, you daft child. You'll need that much if you are to make something of anything. Second, bring those 10 rough maple pieces to a woodworking station. You're gonna turn those rough maple pieces into sanded maple. We in the trade call it refinement. No, not sanding, refinement. Yes, you get sanded wood. No, that's not confusing at all. Third, would you listen up? This is important. You can't just start carving away at standard maple without a style in mind. A style? Every race in Tamriel has their own style, and the material they prefer to work. Them Nords craft materials in the Nord style, do you see? Now, you buy them style material in town, from a woodworker, you addle-baited. No, it doesn't matter which one. Lastly, your last task is taking your style material and 3 standard maple pieces to a woodworking station. Craft yourself a maple bow. Don't worry about the bowstring. I said bait no mind. Curving that bow like the leg of a bendy wood elf dancer is what you should try to. None of your concern. What do you mean, is that all? By the 8 divines, of course that ain't all. There is the woodworking. You can make better quality carpentry if more wood goes into an item's making. Even then you can improve it further. Oh, so that's why you can choose how many you can put into them. Interesting. I was getting to it. That maple bow isn't the best you can make it until you improve it with resins. You'll find them around, around. But try to improve that bow without enough resin and you'll ruin the bow and waste the resin. Yes, there will always be maple in the woods. What do you mean? When are you going to be in a desert? Oh. Alright. You're in a desert, and you can't find maple because you can't find the woods. But say you have your maple bow, bring it to a woodworking station and deconstruct some of what you need from the bow itself. Of course, you lose the bow. We call it this part deconstruction, like your sister's bad poetry. If you could take a chisel to it. How'd I get so good at woodworking? Research. No, not like reading. If I got my hands on a decent piece of carpentry, I'd take it apart and study the traits that made it special. Took me time, and I'd lose the carpentry when I pulled it apart, but once I had worked out how the original woodworker done it, I could make it myself. Now, close your mouth, Debons. Afore you swallow a flashlight. That was amazing. Okay, let's put 3 in there. Oh, I need to... Carpenter.
What business brings you here?
Can you tell me about woodworking?
Certainly. Woodworkers shape wood into all manner of useful tools, but bows, staves, and shields are our specialty. This work requires fine lumber and a sturdy work table. We also seek out style books and rare ingredients for more advanced work.
I wonder, because blacksmithing didn't mention, it did mention heavy armor, but it didn't mention shields. So I wonder if this world, all shields are made out of wood. Can you tell me about the process?
Sure. While shaping the wood, we can choose a special trait to focus on. It takes research to discover these techniques, but it's well worth the effort. Increasing the weight or tuning the angle can draw out different advantages in the final product.
Is there more to it?
Well, a piece can be improved even more through the use of resins. Special elements that enhance the value and quality of your work. The improvement process is delicate, so be sure you've got enough tempers and a steady hand. Good luck.
Thank you. I need a Breton style material. Breton. Buy one. Thank you. Hi. Craft. I have a maple bow, a terrible one, but it works.
Craft a maple bow. Bring some sanded maple to a woodworking station, as well as a style material. Carpenters sell them if you can't find any yourself.
I have the bow right here.
A good bow will get you far in life. Making good bows will get you farther.
I'm ready for the next step.
Excellent! Now we can talk about deconstruction. You grow as a woodworker when you disassemble your own creations, even more so with someone else's work. Head to a woodworking station and deconstruct your bow, or any other crafted wood.
Alright. Deconstruct. It leveled me up a little bit.
I've seen everything I need to see. You're a fine woodworker with a steady hand.
I'm ready to be certified as a woodworker.
Certainly. You're more than qualified to fulfill woodworking crafting writs. I'll certify you immediately.
Thank
There's
you.
only one more certification I can provide. If you need training, I have time.
Yeah, she just said that. So I can get certified in everything. That's good. Because I want to do everything. This world is huge. There is a lot to do. I'd like to know more about Clothier certification.
If you convince me you know how to use a needle and thread, I'll certify you. However, you must commit. I can't certify two things at once.
I want to be certified as a Clothier.
Show me you can craft a pair of homespun gloves. First, you'll collect some raw jute, then return here and refine it. Finally, you'll use refined jute to make the gloves.
You will certify me if I craft homespun gloves?
Of course. It was the first trade I studied. I'm happy to certify anyone familiar with a clothing station. Now run forth and bring me a pile of raw jute.
Where can I find raw jute?
I spotted some raw jute growing on the outskirts of town. You might as well harvest it yourself. Should that not be enough, you'll have to search elsewhere.
I'll return with the jute mill in it. That's also in my bank.
Just between us, I heard the Ashlanders accuse the tribunal gods of murder.
Oh, so much to do.
Can't afford it. Maybe someday.
Being lowborn must be awful. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah. Well, I gave them 29 gold. I don't think that's enough to repair what has been lost. Especially a life. But it's something. I guess. Raw jute. There we go. Let's put away Paglos, and what else can I get a lot of? Lotus is quite rare. Jasmine. No. It's full. I need to find the person who sells I need to find the person who sells the... Oh. That's nice. So I have both now here, yeah. Hi.
Search grassy areas in the wilderness for raw jute. You should find enough if you look around.
I have the jute here.
Raw jute is plentiful if you know where to look. Just don't chew on it. It can really do a number on your... Well, just don't chew on it.
I remember that. What should I do next?
Take the raw jute to a clothing station. If you have enough, you can easily refine it. Bring the refined jute to me when you're done, and then you'll make some homespun gloves.
So you did try to chew on it. I'll try that. Raw jute. Hemming.
Before you make the gloves, you need to bring raw jute to a clothing station and refine it.
I'm done. The refining process was simple.
When I'm refining jute, I sing to help pass the time. Not too loud. I don't want to disturb the other clothiers.
Refined jute. What do I do with it?
Head to the clothing station and craft a pair of homespun gloves. You shouldn't need much refined jute. Don't forget a style material. You can purchase them from any clothier, or scavenge them yourself.
How would I make leather gloves?
You mean half-hide braces? It's a similar process. Skin animals for leather scraps, refine scraps into rawhide, and craft the braces with a style material. But I'm not supposed to say you should kill and skin a pack of wolves. Let's stick to jute.
Okay. I can do that. Let's see the style. This is cooler on the Breton one, but the robe looks better on the Nord one. But I need to make homespun gloves anyway. My clothing is level 3.
Craft a pair of homespun gloves. You'll need refined jute and a style material. Clothiers sell those if you can't find any yourself.
I have the gloves right here.
You know, I'm a master clothier, yet I still own a pair of homespun gloves. They keep my hands warm at night. Sometimes simple is better.
Right. I'm ready for our next step.
Wonderful. Now for deconstruction. There's much to learn from breaking down your own work. Even more so with someone else's creation. Head to a clothing station and deconstruct your gloves. Or anything else, really. Just be sure you do it there.
Okay. Deconstruct homespun gloves so I can deconstruct this too. Let's do that. Nice.
You're more than capable with needle and thread. I'll be proud to call you my colleague.
I'm ready to be certified as a clothier.
Already done. You'll now be able to fulfill clothier crafting writs, and I look forward to seeing more of your work.
Thank you.
I have nothing left to teach. Have you spoken with Daniel Toleno? He can certify you at enchanting, alchemy, and provisioning. Last I heard, he was in the local mages guild. Of course. What do you want to know?
Is there anything else I should know about crafting?
I can explain how to craft stronger items with more materials, tell you about the improvement of existing items, or discuss research and traits.
Tell me about crafting with more materials.
You can easily create more powerful weapons, armor, and shields. Simply increase the amount of refined material during an item's creation. Of course, each material has its own limits. At some point, it's just waste.
I want to know more about improvement.
You can greatly improve weapons, armor, and shields with certain rare materials. These materials are unique to each craft.
How does blacksmith improve weapons and heavy armor?
Bring any tempers you find to a blacksmithing station. You can improve the quality of forged weapons or heavy armor. A word of warning, unless you have enough tempers, you can lose your item while improving it. Be sure you know the risks.
Oh. What can you tell me about crafting with more materials?
You can easily create more powerful weapons. You can greatly
improve
if you bring tannins to a clothing station. You can improve the quality of light or medium armor. Be sure you bring enough tannins, or you could lose your item instead of improving it. There's always a risk.
Okay.
You can greatly
And
improve
woodworker?
weapons. You'll want to bring resins to a woodworking station and use them to improve the quality of a bow, staff, or shield. But without enough resins, you risk losing the item in the process. Taking a chance can be very expensive if you aren't careful.
What can you tell me about research and traits?
Some weapons, armor, and shields possess rare traits that distinguish them from others. Every kind of item has its own unique set of traits. Once you research a trait, you will always be able to craft an item of that kind with that particular trait.
Well, I might have made a mistake there when I deconstructed that green one then. Oops. Oh well, we'll get more of them. How?
Bring any item with the trait to the appropriate crafting station and research it. You'll lose the item in the process, but you'll learn the trait. The more traits you already know for an item, the longer new traits take to research. Plan accordingly.
Oh, interesting.
Of course. What do you want to know?
How did you become a master crafter?
Fair question. I was an apprentice clothier in the Imperial City, but my old fusspot of a master had no plans to retire. So I joined the 7th Legion's baggage train. Years of mending battle mage armor helped me perfect my craft.
How did you learn blacksmithing and woodworking?
Armies need all kinds of weapons and armor. You learn to pick up a few skills along the way. Also, enemies who capture the baggage train are far more likely to ransom an exceptionally talented crafter. 4 times for me. Don't plan on a 5th.
I hope so too. So now I have 3 of them here. Good. So whenever I feel like it, I can do those. There was also a quest here. I think. Yeah, there was. Let's talk to him. Hi.
Honor to you, traveler. Name's Naril. I'm guessing you're new in town and need some work. It's a bit of luck we met because I need some help in a business deal.
What did you have in mind?
You may have heard Stonefalls is under attack. This makes some things very lucrative. Take wine. If I had a particular bottle, there's a party who'd pay well for it.
Are you asking me to steal some wine?
Please. Procure. There's a bottle of Tears of Amaya hoarded by a Nord tavern keeper here. I offered to buy, but he won't sell. Frankly, he'll never drink it, so he'd never know if it was replaced by a copy.
As long as the money is good, I'm in.
I knew you were game.
Can you tell me more about this tavern?
It's the Fish Stink, down by the docks. A brute named Hector runs it. He's unreasonable about his precious bottle. You can't just smooth talk it away from him.
How do I take the wine then?
With cleverness. Swap that bottle out when he's not looking. He probably can't tell the difference between good wine and swill.
I'll work something out.
I knew you were game.
Interesting. As long as I don't get the bounty on my head.
What is it?
Now the Mage's Guild is here, I think. Let's try to get those,
I never knew that about niches. Have to try that next time I'm in the field.
Okay.
Honor to you, Sarah. Welcome to the Mage's Guild Hall. I realize that our presence here in the temple is unconventional, but I'm afraid that our former hall was razed just recently. One does what one must, yes? Have you come seeking membership?
The Mage's Guild?
Yes, of course. We're lawkeepers across the face of Tamriel. Guild members seek out books, tomes, and ancient scrolls in their travels. Why don't you speak with me for a moment? Perhaps you'd like to join.
Oh, that sounds really cool. Let's talk about the Mage's Guild.
It's a pleasure to speak with another knowledge seeker. Guildmaster Vanis will be pleased.
What can you tell me about the Mage's Guild?
We're book hunters of a sort. We seek out new information, capture it in our libraries, and make copies for distribution across Tamriel. The Guild doesn't care about battlefields or boundaries, just knowledge and the acquisition of new tomes.
That's probably what the library is for in that menu. What do I get in return?
We provide training in unique spells and abilities only available to members. And from time to time, projects crop up for those with an adventuresome spirit. You may end up working with the Guildmaster himself.
Nice. You mentioned the Guildmaster?
Vanus Galarian, one of the founding members of this august body, still holds the proud title of Guildmaster, overseeing every guild hall in Tamriel. He works with other ranking members such as Tallinger, the Artificer, to ensure our future success.
You're not affiliated with the Ebonheart Pact?
We are neutral in the war between the three alliances. While many of us here in Davin's Watch hold true to the Dragon Banner, when we're on guild business we kneel to no king or queen. That's why you'll see members of every race in our halls.
Good. Okay, I'm ready to join.
Excellent. Welcome to the Mages Guild. I suggest you begin by talking to Velast, our mistress of Incunabula. She's in the stacks on the floor below, and often has tasks for new recruits. Good luck.
Thank you. So, I should have talked to the other guy in the Fighters Guild too. That was my mistake. So now I have blacksmithing here. Allows the use of iron ingots. Ore in the world will be easier to see when you are 20 meters or closer. I need that. Woodworking. Wood in the world is easier to see. Thank you. What do Mages Guild give? Oh, those are the ultimate abilities. Interesting. Call a comet down. Summon a mote of mage light, revealing stealthed and invisible enemies around you. Fire a Dawnguard Vampire Hunter's crossbow bolt to strike. And what are the passives? Allows you to persuade NPCs in conversation. Yes. That sounds fine.
Lord Sotha would urge clemency toward his fellow scholars of Aetherius, given the destruction of their guild hall, and so they shelter in our temple. Seekers of the Triune Way will simply have to cope with their neighbors.
Indeed. I will visit those who have tasks for us later. For now I want to do the crafting thing. Hi Daniel.
There is much more I can teach you. What else do you hope to learn from me?
Tell me more about alchemy certification.
Alchemists are masters of the elixir. They trap magic in a bottle for later use. But I can only certify you in one discipline at a time. If this is agreeable, we can begin your training.
I want to be certified as an alchemist.
As with master chefs, every alchemist must assemble the right components before crafting a special concoction. Are you so capable? We shall see. I require you to locate a solvent and some reagents. Then you shall craft me a potion.
I need to create a potion to be certified?
Yes. Every alchemical mixture requires a solvent, a pure liquid base, and reagents such as herbs and flowers. Now go. Find a solvent and some reagents. Once you have what you need, return to me.
Where can I find solvents and reagents?
There's a quiet area nearby with mountain flowers and columbine. A fresh source of water can't be far from them. If you find nothing there, venture into the wilds and seek them for yourself.
Where else can I find solvents and reagents?
In the wilderness. You'll find herbs, flowers, and mushrooms all around. These make the best reagents. As for solvents, look for bubbling springs in lakes, ponds, streams, and shores. Sealed bottles as well. Purity of the solvent is key.
I'll return with the ingredients. I have mountain flowers, I think. And I also have natural water, I think. Let's check the bank again.
Take it from me.
Mountain flowers right here. Natural water right here. Do I have columbines? No. I don't have a columbine. Which is interesting. I don't even know what columbine looks like. So I will make a cut here and I will be back when I find some columbine. Okay, meanwhile I found another quest here. Let's talk to Sergeant Rorak.
Welcome to what used to be the front line, soldier. Something very strange is happening out here. I'm just a grunt. Not a very smart grunt at that. Maybe you can sort things out for me.
What's the problem?
Problem? I've got a battlefield full of ghosts. Sprung out of the ground like corn in the month of mid-year. They killed those Covenant bastards, which is great. But how do you kill what's already dead? My mages can't even agree on what to do.
What do you want me to do?
I've known Furan and Risa for a while now. I respect them both. I just need to know which of them has the better idea. Start with Furan, then talk to Risa. Hear them out and do what they ask of you. When you've decided what's best, let me know.
I'll give you my decision soon.
I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what I was going to do out here. Thank you, traveler.
You mentioned Covenant soldiers?
Yes. Damned skeevers snuck around the city and came at us from the wastes to the north. Damned good strategy. Hit us from this side and by sea and squeezed the city in the middle. Hope Holgan and his troops are holding up.
The city's under attack?
You hard of hearing. Yes, the city's under attack. Damn daggers came right out of the sea, trying to take the watch from under us. I'd be with Holgan myself, if these spirits hadn't come out to play.
Where did the spirits come from?
Do I look like a Telvanni mage? I have no idea. Furan said something about climber elves. I guess the dark elves used to be really good at scaling mountains. Look, just ask him and leave me to the soldiering.
Okay.
Today? Of all days? What was it about today that made these spirits become so restless?
You're talking about the ghosts?
Ah, greetings. Yes, I was just thinking about the situation here. These spirits make up an ancient army of Kaimer warriors. Blade masters from the time before Red Mountain. It's fascinating to observe ancestors so closely.
The sergeant asked me to speak with you. You have a plan to deal with them?
My brother's plan, actually. Giron believes we can control the dead, harness them in a powerful defense for the Watch. His method must be tested before we attempt a larger ritual.
Tested how?
Take this smoky pendant and use it on one of the ancient dead. You may have to weaken it a bit first. If it binds a spirit, bring both back to me. If it doesn't, well, we'll deal with that when the time comes.
I'll see it done.
Oh, bind a spirit. I need to know if the ritual can work.
Can I ask you a few questions about these spirits first?
Do you really need to know more to use Giron's pendant? Fine. I will answer what questions you have.
You said these spirits are Chimera?
Yes. The ancient precursors to the noble Dark Elf race. Warred with the Dwemer and the Needs from the north. Sought to master the world around them. A rich race with a fascinating history. But not important right now.
Why did they attack the Covenant?
They seem to be attacking everyone. Clearly these soldiers died in battle. In death, their hatred and battle lust lives on eternally. The perfect weapon in the right hands.
Where did the spirits come from?
I have theories. The volcano, the Covenant, several variables to account for. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say some kind of magical disturbance, combined with the presence of an invading army, rousted the Kaimer from Aetherius.
Maybe. Use the pendant on a weakened spirit. I'll do that later. I will go back and actually talk to the Fighters Guild guy and also go back to the Mages Guild and talk to that person too. There are more quests to be taken there, probably.
You wouldn't have liked it. The Mages Guild is all dust and rules.
So I have to sneak on them to hear everything they have to say. I'll keep that in mind. Hi.
Comrade, we have need of you. Will you fight by our side?
What did you have in mind?
The Guild has accepted an unusual contract. We've agreed to eradicate Daedric anchors when they drop from the sky. Wherever they appear, Molag Bal's minions soon follow.
What would you have me do?
As we speak, 2 of my guardians investigate rumored anchor sites. Merrick and Aleph are the best the Guild has to offer. Meet up with them in the hills west of Davin's Watch. You can proceed from there.
I'll see it done.
I know you'll change the river's course, comrade. They're investigating the wilds nearby, above the starved plains.
The contract you mentioned, who placed it?
A powerful benefactor. She hates that monsters can ruin the lives of everyday folk. Our benefactor has put gold behind her principles, and so we put our strength behind her cause.
Tell me about those Daedric anchors.
They are the tendrils of Cold Harbor, reaching into Nirn. The minions of Molag Bal erect dark shrines in his honor, landing sites for these horrors. The coin this contract brings is good, and in this time of trouble, we need a focus.
A focus?
Yes, I am new to my role as Guildmaster. The death of my mentor, Yofnir Iceblade, has been hard on the Guild. He was well liked among the rank and file. I hope the river has carried his soul where it wanted to go.
Can you tell me more about Merrick?
He's a proud Redguard warrior, one of our best, and a follower of Stendarr. Merrick's full title is Resolute Warhorn. He's sworn to fight the spawn of Oblivion wherever they touch Tamriel.
And Aleph, who is she?
Proof that the Guild accepts all kinds. A Khajiit. She does as much damage with her wicked tongue as with her curved blade. Taciturn, rude sometimes, but a cunning fighter.
The contract you mentioned, who placed it?
A powerful
Same.
benefactor.
How is the contract unusual?
The size of the task. Our benefactor has asked we call in every guildmate, from the lowest associate on up. Every member of the Fighters Guild has been tasked with ending this Daedric corruption.
Okay. And let's see what the Mages Guild has me do. Sounds like fun. I think that's how you level up the guild abilities or the guild levels. Because I don't see any other way how you could. Maybe finding books might help Mages Guild. That's a possibility. Now she's down there. How do I get down there? Of course, stairs.
Yes, that's just in line with the third law of Arcanodynamics. Well met, Adept. I believe I may have a task for you.
What can I do for you?
New members are the lifeblood of the Mages Guild, especially for retrieval missions. I've received word about a possible store of ancient knowledge in a ruin nearby. I'd like you to retrieve it for me.
Where is this?
West of here, on the coast near Ash Mountain, lies a Dwemer ruin, the Inner Sea Armature. If you please, investigate the ruin and bring back any interesting books you can find.
I'll return as soon as I can.
The Inner Sea Armature is a dangerous place. Tread carefully, Adept.
What is your role in the Mages Guild?
I am the master of Incunabula, the keeper of tomes. I've come here to inspect the local Arcaneum, the Guild's library. I've dedicated my life to expanding our Guild's knowledge. Standards must be kept.
How did you learn about these books?
We have ears everywhere, Adept. an intelligence report fell into my hands that mentioned these tomes.
I thought the guild was neutral in the war.
We are neutral in the war for Cyrodiil, and proud of it. That doesn't mean we don't take an interest when the hidden armigers notice something.
Hidden armigers?
The intelligence arm of the Ebonheart Pact. Rumor is that there used to be an alchemy group from within House Telvanni who jumped ship. Now they answer to King Yoren personally, and the Aid only knows what they get up to.
What's in these books?
I don't know. It's always a delicious mystery cracking open a book for the first time. They could be anything from ancient recipes for stew to high arcana, even racy journals penned by elven poets.
What is here? Ontanela's cookbook. Talking about cooking? Jaga. Set several shallow pans of boiled the pig's milk. Cream where the cat can't step on them and leave alone for a day. Then stir several times per day thereafter. Strain the whey into a separate vessel, keeping the curds in their pans. Break the curds apart with a spoon, then allow the curds to dry into shards. Stir daily to keep them from spoiling. Once dry, use these shards to thicken skimmed pig's milk or to add more cream to plain pig's milk. Bottle and let ferment for 3 weeks. Note that you can drink the whey immediately or use it in other recipes. Blood froth. Pour fresh blood into swallow pans and place in the cold cave till nearly congealed. Meanwhile, whip together a couple of chicken egg yolks and melted tallow. Using a sharp knife, slice the blood into chunks, then dice. This is why you let it congeal first. It's impossible to dice fresh blood. Whip the slivers with the yolks and tallow, adding more tallow if needed to turn into a beverage. Add salt to the taste. Set aside for a month to allow it to ferment. Fermented honey liquor. Combine 2 hives of strained honey with twice the amount of water and a handful of hops. Cover and let ferment for a season before tasting. Ladle into bottles, seal them with beeswax and put away. The longer you let the bottles sit, the better the liquor will be. Cool.